Welcome to the Cameron's Conversations podcast. So, in today's episode, I'm going to talk a little bit about what to do and what not to do when things go wrong. And this is a very inspired episode from my evening last night, which was going swimmingly. I had a really good day yesterday, was very productive. Went to the gym about 6:30. Got a good gym session in, got my steps in. Nice thing about getting into the gym that early is I managed to get a quick shop done as well, so that was out the way before there was literally anyone in Sainsbury's. I think there was about 5 other people it seemed like, which was great. So that was really positive. Then got loads of work done, had lots of good catch-up calls with clients as well, so that was really nice. Just a good day all round. And I was looking forward to training as well. So I went off to training, and about 20 metres before I arrived at the school, because we train in a school hall, we use that for our practice session. When I pulled along the road to turn in the corner, I could hear a sputtering noise and my car started to chug along. And all of a sudden, basically came to a stop. There's almost no power at all. So that was not ideal. So it's tipping with rain. It's 8 p.m, so it's obviously pitch black as well, or just before 8, and practice starts at 8, which wasn't ideal, and I was sat in my car trying to phone my insurance to get through and get the AA out, which of course was made even better by the fact that I've just recently split my work and personal phone, just so I can kind of switch off at kind of like when I'm at training and the tail end of the evenings. And of course I didn't have any of the numbers I needed, so I did manage, however, to get through, and I had my policy number, thankfully, on a piece of paper in the car, so it was all good. However, I then was told that when they did come out, which was really quick, I have to say, 30 minutes, which is great. When they came out, they think it's potentially like a spark plug or something related to that. So there is absolutely no power to the car, really. So it is going nowhere. And the good news was that I could get my car picked up at 2 in the morning, which was fantastic. And of course, the other problem with that is you can't phone the garages locally to see if they've got any availability to actually take your car, because unfortunately where I am, the garage is really busy. It's meant to be quite good, but yeah, it's a very busy garage. So I had absolutely no idea whether my car could be taken by that garage, and I spoke to the guy on the phone, and they've delivered to that garage before, and it's gated and locked at night, so my car would be left on double yellows if I did drop it off there. So slightly problematic. So in essence what that meant was that I couldn't get my car picked up there and then, well, even loosely there and then, 4 hours, 5 hours later. I couldn't get it picked up, and it made more sense to leave it to tomorrow, which left me at a slight impasse, because where I go to train for basketball is about a 30-minute drive away, and there is no direct bus route to where I live from there. You have to kind of go along the bypass, and there ain't many buses going there. So it was a bus journey back into Edinburgh, followed by an Uber back to the flat after 45 minutes of training, because I was waiting on the call. I figured I might as well join in some of the team practice. And of course I got home, and eventually and I had to phone the insurer again just to confirm some bits and bobs and get it organised, and then eventually got to bed at 1 in the morning. So not the most relaxing evening ever. Now 1 a.m. probably doesn't sound that late, but you're talking to a man who likes to get up at 5 every day, so it felt pretty bloody late. The point of all this is that it all went a little to shit in the evening in terms of what was going on, right? There were various things that I could get really stressed out about, or could be really frustrated with. I missed out a key part of the story. There were no taxis. So I was out in Haddington and I phoned a couple of local places. None of them picked up, and there's no Uber out there, unfortunately. It's just outside the zone that they cover. So I was absolutely stuck. I managed to just make, by 2 minutes, the last bus from Haddington back into Edinburgh, which was very lucky timing, because if not made that, I think I would have had a very long night. I'm not sure what I would have been doing then. It might have been a hotel room if I could get one. I don't know if you can get a hotel in Haddington that easy. I'm not convinced at that time of night. The point is, right, is this all went to pot. Now, I know full well, because this thought popped in my head, and I think this is really important. This is a little bit of real honesty for you, is there was definitely a point where I was like, I could just have some snacks to just keep me going. I'm sat in a car, it's 2 degrees, I can turn on the engine, but it just kind of conks out after a few seconds. I didn't really want to do any more to the car, so I just left it. Thankfully I had a big jacket on, so I was not frozen, but I was cold. So I'm sat in this car, and I obviously thought I could just go and get some food, and there's a Co-op 2-3 minutes around the corner, And I was like, I could easily just have some snacks, and it passes a little bit of time, obviously, but it also, it's comfort, right? And that's where, like, when we talk about stress eating coming in. Now, right now, at that point in time, I had eaten all my calories for the day, which was deliberate, because by the time I finished training, it's like 9:45, and I'm getting home for, 10:15, so I'm not, and then I'm showering, I'm straight to bed. I'm not wanting to eat anyway. It doesn't really bother me, because I'm too knackered after training to care. So I obviously didn't have any calories left. Now, I could have made the decision to go and buy a bag of chocolate or a bar of chocolate or whatever and eat away my sorrows, or have a big bag of crisps or whatever it is, right? That would have been an option. And here's the thing. If I look back maybe 5-6 years ago, probably more like 5 years ago, that is exactly what I would have done. Like, guaranteed, I would have gone, and I can tell you probably almost exactly what I would have had. I would have had a Cadbury sharing bag of buttons, and I would have sat and ate those in the car, and I might have got some crisps. I'm not a massive thing on crisps, but just something savoury just to tide me through. Instead, what I decided to do, I did figure it would be a long night, is I went and grabbed a Coke Zero, and I grabbed a small protein bar, which was like 150 calories, because I figure over the course of the week, I can probably balance out that 150 calories. I'm looking for an average to be in a good place, and I'm actually a little bit under target for the week. So I made that decision. I was going to get a drink because it could have been a long night, and I wanted, so I just got Coke Zero. That's kind of my beverage of choice. And I also had this protein bar. And this is a really important thing that to pick up on is, and I get it because I've been there too, is like shit will hit the fan. I think that's really important to know. Like, it's not always going to be smooth sailing. And I sometimes think, and I wanted to chart my journey of dropping 8 kilos over 12 weeks, but I also want there to be a bit of an element of honesty here as well. So it resonates a little bit better, and also it feels a bit more familiar, because stuff goes wrong. It's not like my life is completely smooth all of the time. Like, I've still got a really, really busy day today. I've got our one-to-one call with our clients in Facebook group. So we're going to do a big in-depth session on sort of creatine supplementation and what it's useful for, that side of things. So I've got that. I've also got 6 other calls, and I've still got my one-to-one updates to do as well today. So, it's going to be a long day, right? And I got home really late last night, and I got up really early yesterday to train. So I'm tired. Like, I woke up tired. And I think this is important because you have decisions in those moments. Like, yes, I was pretty knackered last night and I just wanted to get home. There's going to be an element of that. But I could either let that stress overwhelm me, or I could just be as relaxed as I could about it. My phone had enough charge. I had 40% on my phone. It was a relatively new phone, so I only got it a couple of weeks back, so that's enough. Thank God, my old iPhone would be dead. So that would be enough to kind of get me through. I knew that. I could get that bottle of Coke Zero, know that would tide me over. Like, I can get by. And I think this is quite important, is that sometimes we can get really, really caught up in, like, oh, I have to do this. Like, I can't cope right now. And you eat to get through it. But the truth is you can. Like, you don't need to rely on food all of the time. And if you let yourself rely on food all the time, you're going to have a problem, because you're not going to see the progress you want with your weight loss. You're just not. Like, it sounds a bit brutal, but you're not. If every time you are stressed, it will not work. Like, you just won't make the progress you want. And for a lot of people, this is a big issue. And it's something I see a lot of, is like, oh, but it was really stressful, so I just did this. And it's like, I get that, but we still have a level of control, and it's really important to remember. Now, you could argue what I did wasn't perfect, right? Well, you still had a protein bar though, Cameron. I did. I made that conscious choice because I knew it was going to be a long night. I didn't want to be super, super, super hungry when I was traveling back at like 1, 2 in the morning, or potentially up for a very, very long time. And I wanted something, obviously, to drink for obvious reasons. So I wanted to kind of get through that, and that was a sensible choice, and that was a compromise, but I didn't compromise my goals completely to get there, right? And I think that's the important part. In the same way, when I woke up this morning, again, I set my alarm about half an hour later than normal, but I woke up knackered, as you would expect. Like, it's just kind of a longer evening. By the time I showered and stuff, got to bed, actually got to sleep, it was quite late. So I woke up pretty knackered. I knew I obviously had to phone the garage and sort that out this morning. Like, that was always going to be the case. But I had a choice, right? I've been going for a walk pretty much every morning for the last sort of 2 weeks. I would do that at 2.5 weeks. I had a ski trip in between, so I did 4 days where I wasn't doing that, but I was out skiing, so it was fine. But I have been walking every single morning when I wake up, and I lay in bed for probably 5 extra minutes more than normal, and I thought about it, and I thought I could just lie in bed and watch some YouTube for half an hour or something like that, listen to a podcast I like, and just sit in bed because I'm knackered. But then I thought to myself, actually, I really like that routine of getting out, and what is going to make me feel better for the day? If I sit in bed and I then am like, right, I need to get up and get on with work, I'm probably going to feel more stressed, more under the cosh than I would be if I just went out for a little bit of a walk, got some fresh air, got some daylight, had a bit of caffeine. Gotta get that in as well, because that's definitely going to be needed today. By 5:30, I think I will be struggling. So I had a bit of caffeine and I just cracked on. And I think this is a really important part, is that life isn't always going to be smooth sailing. And I want you to know that that happens to me too. Hopefully your car doesn't break down mid-diet. I mean, that's just life if it does though, right? But it is one of these things where it's like frustrating and it's annoying, yes, but I have a choice. My goals still matter to me. That hasn't changed. It didn't suddenly, because my car broke down, it wasn't that my fat loss goals are out the window. I've got that public accountability. I've said I'm going to lose 8 kilos over 12 weeks. Well, I better damn do it. It's going to be a bit embarrassing as a coach if I don't do the damn work, right? So I think it's really, really important to remember your goals still matter even when stressful life events come up. But I also wanted to share this because it's not all sunshine and rainbows. And actually, I still did really well on my calories. My protein was great. I went to the gym. I hit 15,000 steps yesterday, added to the fact because I had to wander about to get a bus into town and all the rest of it, all the faff. So I still ticked all the major boxes, but it wasn't perfect. And some days are just going to look exactly like that, but still sticking to it on those rough days is going to be such a key part of long-term progress as well. And sometimes we just need to get on with it, even when we don't feel like it, even when we are stressed. So yeah, there's a little insight from me, sort of mostly upbeat, but also a bit of reality too. I also don't have a car today, and I've got a match tonight, and actually, you can't see over my shoulder here, but I have the team kit bags over there, which is really, really helpful. I'm not sure how I'm going to get that to anyone, but we'll find out. Let's see if we can get a courtesy car sorted today. Anyway, a different episode today, but just a little bit of real life talk, I guess, when things do go wrong mid-diet and how to handle it and how also maybe not to handle it how I used to. But yeah, hopefully you're having a better week than that. Hopefully your car is intact and there's no misfiring and no immediate loss of power, because we don't want that. And I hope you're having a great day, and I will speak to you soon.